So these are the ingredients that we're going to need today to make tagliatelle and spicy meatballs. I've got some pork and some minced beef also. You don't have to use pork. If you don't eat pork, you don't have to use pork. You'll be fine with the minced beef. I just prefer it with the combination. Some tagliatelle, just cooked in hot water. 1 chili, salt, pepper, paprika, chili powder. You also need a can of tomatoes, some breadcrumbs, 2 onions, some carrots, and some mushrooms. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the prep. Some people that be watching the video maybe don't know how to cook vegetables or to use a knife. If you don't, carry on watching. If you do, just skip along until we move to the cooker. Now, while you're cutting the onion, do not cut the root off. If you look, I've cut this side off. If you cut through the root, this is how you end up crying. That's when the tears start, when you start cutting through the root. So if you leave the root on and don't cut the root, then hopefully you won't have any tears in your eyes. Now this is my own kitchen. This is Carl's kitchen, but not unfortunately, but it's not solely my kitchen. While I'm doing the video, there will be some visitors. I've got my Cocker Spaniel, Goldie, who you might hear him groaning from time to time. He loves attention. And my daughter, Yasmin, my son, Joseph, and my wife, Christiane. Christiane's not here at the moment. She's at work. She's a student nurse, so big shout out to the NHS. I'm just going to peel the potatoes. Like I said before, if you know how to chop onions and other vegetables, just move along. Nothing to see here. This is only my 3rd YouTube video. The first video I posted with the homemade quarter pounder. I've had 40 views. Hopefully some of them won't be friends and family. So what I want to do before I start the prep is I'm going to thinly slice 1 onion. This I'm going to cook. First of all, I'm going to make some caramelized onions to put into the meatballs. These are going to take a couple of minutes to cook. All I'm going to do is in a frying pan with a little bit of olive oil, just slowly cook them just to get a bit of caramelization. Not burn, just a little bit of darkness, just so I can add those to the meatballs. So I'm going to put these in the frying pan. I'm just going to get a bit of olive oil. And sorry the visuals aren't great. I've only got 1 camera, and you can't believe how much hassle it is trying to set my camera up to record the video. Hopefully more guys keep watching, I might be able to get some more. Alright, so I'm probably not going to use all these carrots. I have cheated. I've got already pre-cut carrots. So I'm just going to cut them in half again. And then I'm going to finely dice them. These are going to be for the sauce. So what I'll do, guys, I'm going to do all the prep first. If you do all your prep first, it just makes things so much easier. So get all your prep done. I'm going to try and slice these as fine as I can. Now when you're using a sharp knife, use your nail. You're not going to, so you don't cut, just use your nail as a guide, and you're just running the blade down, moving your nail the whole time, and you're going to be able to cut through. Like I said, guys, if you know how to use a knife, just skip through. Hopefully I won't cut my fingers off. Just give it a go. All right. As long as it tastes nice, that's all that really matters. All right. It's not a Michelin-starred dish. It's not a Michelin-starred chef. I don't need to impress anyone. You're cooking at home. You're cooking for yourself. Cook something nice and something tasty. I've come in from work. I work full-time in construction. I build petrol stations in the UK. So I cook most nights. My wife does cook quite a lot, but she doesn't enjoy cooking. She'll do it because she's an amazing woman, but she doesn't really enjoy it. Right, so this is for the sauce. So I want them finely diced. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting all the way down, leaving the root. The root's going to hold it all together. I'm sorry if I have to nip off every now and again, just chip the onions, but like I said, I want them caramelised and not burnt. There you see, the onions are just starting to get a little bit of colour. I'm going to put them back on the frying pan, on the hob. Now try not to have the hob on, just on a low heat, so you can slowly soften them. Do not put any salt in your onions straight away, because the moisture will come straight out and they won't actually caramelize. Right, so I've chopped that way down. Now I'm going to chop through here. Try not to cut your fingers off. Like that. Now, like I said before, you can use your nails as a guide there, just to finely slice. So I want them really small. So we've got some nice diced onion. Most of the videos that I'm going to do are going to be reasonably simple, but really tasty. And I'm going to try and cook with just the things the utensils that I've got around the house. Just all you need: a nice sharp knife, a few pans, and there's no special devices that you need to go and buy or spend some money on. Alright, that's my onions and carrots. Now the chilli, I've only got a mild chilli. It's not too hot. Now what I've done is I've just rubbed the chilli like that. That gets all the seeds off the sides. Then I'm going to cut the top and the bottom, and then hopefully all those seeds will fall out. Now a little tip if you're cutting chilies, I rubbed a little bit of olive oil on my fingers earlier, and that stops the heat getting onto your fingers. So I could tell you a story about one of my friends who made some garlic mushrooms once and some chilies, and well, he went to the toilet and well, he burnt something else. Right, so I'm gonna finely slice them, and I'm gonna dice these as well. I can smell something. I think the onions are burning. Alright, so they're a little bit more caramelised than what I went for, but they'll be great. I'll leave those now. Alright, like I said, I'm not a chef. I like food. I'm a home cook. And if I can I'm not bothered about how many views I get, but what would be great if instead of just watching this in your living room, you actually get up, take the iPad into the kitchen, and start following the recipes. Now I want to cut these as really, really fine. I'm going to put some in the sauce, but I'm also going to put some in the chilies. In the meatballs. Now you notice I've got some breadcrumbs. Now when I make the meatballs, I'm going to mix some breadcrumbs in there. Now what they'll do is they'll soak up some of the moisture that's coming out of the meat when I fry the meatballs, but it'll absorb and it'll keep your balls moist. No pun intended. Right then, I think that's all of the first bit of prep. So what I'm going to do is going to move these to one side. I'm going to get my bowl, and I'm going to mix the ingredients for the balls. Alright, so in here I'm going to put in the minced beef, the minced pork, some chilies, the caramelized onion, I'm going to put some chili powder, now if you don't like them too hot, don't put so much chili powder in. If you like them really hot, put some more in. If you just want to put just chilies in, go for it. Now a little, just a, I don't know, a little bit of breadcrumbs. Alright, and then I'm going to put in there 1 egg yolk, not the white, just the egg yolk. So all I do, I'm just going to crack an egg, separate it with my fingers. Maybe I should have shown you that technique. Alright, that's all in there. I'm going to quickly wash my hands. Salt and pepper. Now, you can put too much salt and pepper in, and unfortunately you can't take it back out. So what I like to do is I'll mix it all together. After I've finished mixing, I'll take a small piece and I'll fry it, I'll cook it, and I'll taste it then. If I think it needs some more salt or more pepper or a bit more chili, then I'll add a little bit more before I commit to making the whole thing. So it's time to get your hands in there, give it all a good squish round. Now, if you don't cook your onions before you start making your balls, what usually happens is when you're frying your meatballs, all the onions will start to drop out, and they just don't taste as good. So you get stuck in there, give it a really good mix. Now, I've made quite a lot here. Like I said, I've got a family of 4, and well, they like food. So if you don't want to use it all, you can bang it in the refrigerator and maybe have it another day. So what you want to do is combine all them ingredients together so they all look the same colour. So you've got a little bit of chili in there, a little bit of onion, a little bit of pork, a little bit of mint, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper. And just make sure that they're all combined well together. Now, like I said before, what I'm going to do now is going to take a small sample. Now, just so if you do it nice and small and flat like that, you can cook it a little bit quicker and then taste it, see if it needs any more seasoning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the cooker. Now let's get cooking. So like I said earlier, just make a small piece. So what we're going to do there, I'm going to fry that. You can see that, okay? Yeah. So I'm going to fry that. Quickly fry it, so it's cooked all the way through. Don't forget you've got pork and beef in there, just to see if I've got enough seasoning or enough heat in there. This is the time where now you can decide how hot you want it. If you want to add some more chilies or some more spice, maybe some garlic. Now I've got some roasted garlic. I wouldn't put raw garlic into the meatballs. It just has a really weird taste. So I am going to actually add a little bit of dried garlic, which I didn't add before. I mean, that's the best thing about cooking at home. You can decide what you want to put in or what you don't want to put in. So if you don't like carrots, don't just not do the recipe, just don't put carrots in. Maybe put some celery in if you like celery. So on this pan, not that one, I've just set fire to the chopping board. Not that one, I'm good, aren't I? And third time lucky, here we go. Right, so in this pan, I'm going to get some olive oil. Get a decent heat. There we go. I'm going to get a bit of olive oil, and I'm going to saute the onions and the carrots, and then some mushrooms as well, which I forgot to chop. Like I said earlier, there's a very good chance that we'll have some of my family popping in. So if you hear some crying and moaning, that'll be my Cocker Spaniel Goldie. He likes a lot of attention. Alright, so I'm gonna get those cooking. So it's browned up on one side. The mixture also makes really nice burgers. So if you don't fancy, if you don't eat one, if you can't, you don't use it all, and just use it for some burgers later. So I put the onions and the carrots in first. Now these take a little bit longer to cook than the chili. So you don't put the chili until later, or the chili will burn and it'll just taste bitter. Now you can put this on a reasonably high heat. Just keep an eye and make sure that we don't burn them. So I didn't burn the onions earlier, did I? So easiest way to check that, once you think you're ready, cut it in half. If you cooked all the way through, then you're good to go. Now I think I'm actually burning my chopping board, so I'll move that away. So you need to get some colour into these. You want to soften them. Like I said before, don't add the salt straight away. We'll get a bit of colour into it. But you want your onions to be translucent, so that's like you can see that they'll go nearly see-through. So when you eat into it later, you don't bite in there. Right, I've got the little sample, the little tester. Like I said, I'm in construction, so I've got hands like quite nice. Not too hot. I'm going to put a little bit more chili powder in there. Let's give it a little bit more kick. So I like things spicy. I don't like them too hot. I like it too hot that I can't taste afterwards. Just a little kick. We're quite moist. Really tasty. So I'm just going to go and wash my hands again, guys. And then we'll start making some meatballs. There you go. There's Goldie. Now, unfortunately, Goldie's scared of everything in the whole wide world. Are you saying hello, buddy? What's wrong, buddy? You okay? What is it? Now, the easiest way to stop him from barking is to offer him food. I think it must be comfort eating. Right, so I've got some chestnut mushrooms. I'm just going to break them up. You can cut them if you want, but it's just so much easier to rip them apart. Now, mushrooms, you put them in any dish, when you cook them, they disappear. So when you put them in, you think you've got a lot, and then when you finish cooking, it's very rare that you actually come across one. So add plenty in there. Like I've said, if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm not a chef. If I'm doing anything wrong, it's because I've not been taught by anyone. I'm just watching cooking shows on YouTube, on TV. I tend to stick something on. When I don't know what I want to eat, I'll flick through, see something, think, I like that, and I'll go and make it. Sometimes I haven't got all the ingredients in in my kitchen, so I'll just have a think, I don't want that, I ain't got that, I'll put this in. Just have a go. See what you got in the kitchen. If you've got everything, great. If not, it's not the end of the world if you leave a few things out. Now, I haven't been doing this for very long. I haven't got any. I ain't got many subscribers, but if you guys have got any ideas of what you'd want me to have a go at cooking, so I can help you go through it step by step. Now, I usually cook what I like to eat, so unfortunately I'm not keen on bread. Now there was I've had one comment asking to make a pepperoni pizza from scratch, but I don't like pepperoni and I don't like pizza, so I'm sorry. But a shout out for leaving a comment. That was actually my first comment on YouTube from somebody that I don't know. Right then, so everything's cooked off now, so I'm going to turn the heat down. I've got a can of tomatoes, just cheap can of tomatoes. I'm going to put them in there. Then I'm going to half fill the can again, just to put some more water in there. Put that in there. Now I find with tomatoes, when you put them in, they taste a little bit bitter. So what I tend to do is I put a little bit of sugar in, not too much, maybe a teaspoonful, tablespoon, not too much, but that little bit of sweetness just takes that bitterness away. And in there, I'm gonna put some more chili powder. And one of my favorites is smoked paprika. Now, if you've got Tabasco or hot sauce, you can put a little bit of that in. Like I said, I don't want it too hot. The kids will not eat it if it's too spicy. Right, that's pretty much done. All we're going to do now is leave that to reduce. Now, in another pan, I'm going to boil some water. I'm going to boil some water, get it boiling, loads of salt in the water. This is for the pasta, for the tagliatelle, but just get loads of salt. I'll show you how much I mean in a second. But then the salt gets absorbed into the meat, so into the pasta, so you won't actually have to add any salt afterwards. So that's on a high heat. I'll get that bubbling. Now this is reducing. So I want to reduce that so it's quite reasonably thick, and you'll see at the end, so that it actually sticks to the pasta and to the meatballs later. So what we're going to do now is going to start frying the meatballs, and then I'm going to actually pop them into the sauce, just so the flavours can get to know each other a little bit. So back on with my frying pan. Now I'm going to make the meatballs pretty small. One, it speeds the cooking up, and two, anything more than a mouthful is a waste. Now, if you do have a decent frying pan, a non-stick frying pan, this is going to be a lot easier. I don't want you to go out and spend a fortune. You don't have to spend a fortune, maybe $10. You could buy a decent non-stick frying pan. If you haven't got a non-stick frying pan, every time you try and cook, it's going to stick. My son's just popped in. I don't think he's chatting. You don't understand this video, Joe? Come and say hello, Joe. Try not to knock the camera. So Joe comes into the kitchen quite often, but doesn't use the cooker that often. He just comes to eat the food from Carl's kitchen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly.
Right, so I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's about 10 balls in there. Now don't overfill your pan. If you overfill your pan, then you will not cook them right. They're all about the same size, so in theory they should all cook around the same time. Oh no. That's gonna. So all we're doing now with the balls is trying to get a bit of colour in there. A little bit more olive oil. That's reducing nice. Now, all the time that you're cooking, you should be tasting. So there's nothing raw in there. There's nothing that can give you any kind of food poisoning. So that's not too hot. Nice kick. The paprika just gives it, I don't know, it's just a bit more depth. Now, usually I'd put, I've got no garlic, so I'm going to have to cheat. I'm going to put some roasted garlic in here. Now all we're doing is trying to get some colour, like I said, onto the into the balls. You seal it on a reasonably high heat, and then when we put them into there, they won't dry out. You're sealing them. It's like when you're doing a steak. You cook it and you seal it, and then you rest it, and then they stay moist. If you didn't seal it, when you put them in there, the moisture is going to actually leave, believe it or not, and the meatball will dry out. Like I said, we've got some breadcrumbs in there, so that should keep them moist. We're not bothered about cooking them a whole way through. We're just trying to seal the meatballs. So all I'm doing is I'm just carefully pushing it forwards and backwards. If you get the balls nice and round, they'll constantly turn. And when they go in the sauce, they're going to cook through. Right, so that sauce is reducing well now. Now, if you don't like the lumps, the tomato lumps, you can use passata, which is sieved tomato. So it'll be like my daughter, she's not really keen on the consistency of the tomato. So what you could do is get the passata, and instead of having the tin of tomatoes, put the passata in. You get it in any supermarket. Now, you can see we've got some nice colour on the meatballs now. So I'm going to pop them in there. I'm going to drop the heat down. And I'm going to do some more meatballs. I have turned the heat on the sauce down really low now. The heat from the sauce is going to go through and finish the meatballs off. Now I think it looks like I've got that. Well, I've got it how I like it. I don't know how you like it. So if you like a thin sauce, put the meatballs to one side. Keep reducing the sauce before you put the meatballs in, like I did. If you like it thick, Or if you like it thin, then just put a little bit more water in before you add the meatballs. Now, as you can see, they've got the onions that are in there, they're already soft. So when you bite into your meatballs, they're not going to have a crunch. I don't like that that texture in my meatballs. Now, I don't really know. Goldie's saying hello. Come here. What's this? What's this? And a little whistle and an offer of a treat, and he stops barking at whatever he imagined he saw, and he's back. Be a good boy. I think he wants to get on camera, which might get me a few more views because he's very cute. He's not too bright, but he's rather cute. He's agreeing with me. He's agreeing with me. Now, unless I super edit every single video that I do on YouTube, it'll be impossible not to get Goldie in here because, unfortunately, he barks at everything. The only thing that he don't bark at, believe it or not, is fireworks. Bonfire night's just gone a week ago, and the fireworks can be dropping left, right, and centre like we're in a war zone, and not bothered whatsoever. But what he can do is he can hear a leaf falling from 500 yards, which will send him off into a crazy barking fit. But he's so cute and he's so lovable. So what are you going to do? Right, now I haven't timed this very well, so what I'm going to do, those balls are cooked through. I'm going to add those into there. Alright, I think I've got enough meatballs in there now. Got a nice sauce and some nice meatballs. I'll turn the heat off, and then what I'll do is, when the water's boiling, I'll salt it up now so you can see we need quite a lot of salt in there. Now, if you don't like spicy meatballs, you just want normal meatballs, don't put any of the chilies in, don't put the paprika in, just use salt and pepper. If you don't use anything, if you don't at least get salt and pepper, you must have seasoning in your food. Alright, I'm not going to ask you to put grams and grams of salt in there. I don't want you to be too bad for your health, but you need some salt and pepper. Salt will bring all the flavours out of your food. But like I said, just taste it. You don't want to taste the salt, but the salt will bring the flavours of the food out. So have a little taste. That is really nice. Not too hot. All good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that on a really low height, because I don't want to reduce it too much. So what I will do, because I've made a bit of a mess, I'm going to put the lid on that. I'm going to turn it off the heat just for a couple of minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll edit this. When the water's boiling, I'll put the video back on and we'll come back to the pasta. Hi guys, let's go and find Goldie. Now Goldie, like I said, is absolutely scared of everything now because I've got a camera in my hand. He's not used to seeing the camera, so he's scared of the camera. So what I'll do is I'll put it down here. Hopefully he'll get brave enough to come over and have a little sniff. Come on, come here. Come on, good boy. Come on, say hello to the camera, Goldie. Say hello. Come here, buddy. Come here, Goldie. Come on. Come here. Come to daddy. Come on. Hello. Hmm? You gonna say hello to other people? You say hello. Hello. Hmm? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Hmm? You want some spicy meatballs? No, you can't have no spicy meatballs. No, because it'll make you poorly, won't it? So when you hear the barks and you hear him going crazy, you realise why I can't really get mad at him. He's so gorgeous, aren't you, buddy? You're such a good boy. I am a good boy. Okay? What a good boy. Right. So I think the water for the pasta is about boiled. So I'll get back in the kitchen and we'll cook some pasta. Oh, what a brave boy! Say goodbye, Goldie. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Oh, what a good boy. Boil going now on the pasta. I've got some tagliatelle. It takes 7 or 8 minutes to cook. I'm sure you don't want to watch a pan boiling for 7 minutes. So we'll do a little bit of time traveling, and there we go. Be in the time machine. Now the pasta's just about cooked. So I'm gonna try a little bit of the pasta just to make sure it's ready. Come on, there we go. Perfect. And you don't want it soggy. You just want to get a little bite on there. So I'm going to drain the water out of the pasta. Now a lot of people make the mistake of adding olive oil to their pasta. Now, don't do this, because if you do that, then the juice from your beautiful sauce will not start hugging the pasta. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just toss that around there. I'm just going to literally leave that in there for maybe a couple of minutes before plating it up, and the flavour of the pasta, the flavour of the sauce, will start to be absorbed by the pasta. So that's all the cooking just about done. So the heat's off everything, and that's just the flavours just getting to know each other. So I had a little complaint from my wife, who watched my first few videos that I've done, and she says, yeah, it tastes gorgeous, it tastes amazing, but it looks really rough. Now, I'll make a little bit of effort to play it up, but like I said earlier, I'm not a chef, and I'm not posting it on Insta, and I'm not really bothered about presentation that much. Alright, so right, the cooking's over. Goldie's ready for some food, so I'm going to try and make it look a little bit more presentable. Fresh bought meatballs and some pasta. Some black pepper. some Parmesan cheese. Hope you can see that all right. I better change the angle. Alright, so that's Carl's spicy meatballs and tagliatelle. Now, the presentation's not great, but I'm sure it's going to taste much better than it looks. So please don't rate my presentation. Let me know if you've tried it. See if there's anything that you've changed with the menu or changed with the recipe. And thanks for watching Carl's Kitchen. If you'd like to subscribe, go for it. If you'd like to do a thumbs up, go for it. Have a good day, guys. Take care and see you again soon. Bye.